Hi everybody, it's Kathy at Nothing So Strange, and I haven't made a video in a shocking amount of time just because I just have been so busy. The 9 to 5 has been busy. The shop, it's had good days and dead days, but there's always things to do for the shop, even when you're dead. The AC upstairs in the building keeps conking out, and it's, in the 90s and been over 100 for part of that. And so that's just taken up some time. And jury duty and dental appointments. Because somehow I've got a bridge that I managed to break twice in a couple months. So it takes a while to keep getting new bridges. So yeah, just busy. But there's all the stuff I want to talk about. I got a new shipment from US Games the other day for the shop. And some of it's just replacing stuff I've had. The old style Oracle and Tarot and Crow Tarot and whatnot. And I added Whimsical Witch, and I added Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas, and I added Wonderland Tarot, and I got myself one. This is, Alice in Wonderland, and I know I've made one video about how I'd like to make my own perfect Alice deck one day. It's my favorite book. It's my irrational favorite book. Everybody's got to have one. Where, I get mad at most of the movies, especially the Tim Burton ones, for completely misrepresenting the story. And it's not rational. Anyway, I need to show my book collection one day. Maybe that'll be my next video. But I don't like most of the decks I see. But this one I've been thinking... is alright. It's alright. It's the Wonderland Tarot in a 10. I think that the bigger version is out of print now. That's my impression. It's US Games. Join the Mad Tea Party with the Mad Hatter, Fool, Alice, High Priestess, Humpty Dumpty, Son, and other beloved Lewis Carroll characters. Minor suits are flamingos, peppermills, hats, and oysters. That's going to be so hard to keep up with. Playing card suit marks are shown on the minors. That's cool. Artwork pays homage to the original hand-drawn illustrations of Sir John Tenniel. And so that's cool because, his illustrations are just the best. There's a lot of other illustrations that I also think are really great, but his are the classic. So... And, while I'm going through this, I'll probably have lots of opinions about this and the other decks I've seen. Oh, okay. See, I love it already. First of all, I recommend that you obtain a copy of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, both by Lewis Carroll, before you go too much further into the Wonderland Tarot deck. Yes. I just get so annoyed. What I got annoyed about with the Tim Burton movie is he doesn't like Alice in Wonderland. And I read an interview where he was talking about how he just, didn't like the dream-like quality. Well, that's the point. The whole thing is a dream. And so, there's a nice 10. The fact that he balks at the entire premise is annoying. This is my first tarot with a 10. Well, this is a landmark. My first Alice tarot. I have Alice playing cards in my first tarot and a 10. But anyway, so, he made it, and he was like, well, I liked Narnia, so I'm going to have some of that, and I liked Wicked, and I'm going to have some of that, and, he threw so many other books in there and did not do Alice. It was just really annoying, and I know it's supposed to be Alice later in life, blah, 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 but, yeah, it was really annoying. So, my point is, a lot of people, this deck might do it too, a lot of people say, okay, the White Rabbit is the magician. I think the Baba Alice does that. I know I've seen a couple. If you read the book, the White Rabbit could not be farther away from the magician. He's a bureaucrat. He's like mid-level bureaucrat. He's bossy to his own servants, but he's really obsequious to the queen and king. You know, he is not the magician. And it just destroys sometimes the whole thing for me when people take characters which, hello, have been around for an incredibly long time and, you know, don't understand them and put them the wrong way. There could be disagreements about some things, but the White Rabbit is not the magician. So, anyway, rant aside, I don't have many smaller decks. This is probably why I don't have any decks in a 10, is that I tend to like bigger decks, which is funny. Because I love regular size playing cards. This is on the smaller end. There, I will appreciate this. I have short little fingers, and so it's hard to deal with and shuffle big decks, but they just seem more magical to me. Whatever. So there we go. Okay, the backs. Those are pretty. Just flowers, very simple. Reversible. I know this deck's been around forever, and I don't know how forever. Did it say? Anyway, not a new deck by far. Let's see what we got. Wonderland Tarot, complete 78 card deck, 22 major, 56 minor, based on illustrations by Sir John Tenniel. I think it's Tenniel, but it could be Tenniel. I don't even know. For Alice, blah blah blah, designed by U.S. Games. Okay, I should focus. Designed by Christopher, Abbey, and Morgana. Abbey. There you go. Okay. Oh. Okay, now that's a bit wonderful. There she is going through the looking glass. When she's in the looking glass world, everything is written backwards. So when she finds the poem, nope. Yeah. She finds writing. She always has to take it over to the mirror. I can't remember now what she finds there. That's silly. Okay, the Fool is the Mad Hatter. And that is perfect. And look, one of the little hedgehogs from the croquet game is there. And here he's holding the cup and the bread and butter. So he could be at the trial here, or he could be at the tea party. But it is very suitable for him to be the Fool. And who have we got as the magician? Is that Lewis Carroll himself? Oh, if it is, then this is perfect. Let's look. The Fool. The Fool is unnumbered. The magician is Carroll himself pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Okay, I am so happy I got this now. So perfect. We have the Cheshire Cat up there. We have... I need to put on my reading glasses. My eyes are so poor this morning. Oh, we have lilies. They have faces, but there's lilies that are a bit spiteful, and roses, a bit spiteful to Alice in the garden. We have the Mad Hatter's hat. And we probably have a peppermill. What did they say? Peppermill's hats, oysters, flamingos. Okay, we'll figure it out when we go through. Oh, the High Priestess. This is Alice after she gets to the last square of the chessboard in Looking Glass and she becomes a queen. I have one version of that tattooed on my ankle. The Empress. That's the sheep who takes her rowing. The Emperor? That's interesting. So Cheshire Cat is a bit of an anarchist, if you ask me. Should have gotten more coffee before I started here. Anyway, bit of an anarchist. But I can see in terms of being the authority figure and the power figure how that works. The Hierophant as the caterpillar, that totally works. And that is an interesting interpretation of his face. I like that. He's looking all smug there. The Lovers. Oh, and I love the font here. It's definitely a tribute to Pixie's font. Oh, this is hilarious. Tweedledum and Tweedledee, who are having a battle in Looking Glass, and then they run away because a giant crow is coming to get them. That's hilarious. The Chariot, Alice on the Train. The first move in Looking Glass is made with a train, and it jumps the track. Alice is starting out as a pawn, so you get to jump a square. That's the conductor taking her ticket, which she doesn't have. Oh, strength. We've got the lion and the unicorn who have a battle, which is funny. And these are not quite, that's more of a pixie lion, I think, and not quite the Tenniel lion, but unicorn, but it's fine. The meaning is good. The Hermit, the dormouse who gets stuffed into the teapot during the tea party, but he is holding the light. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, that's nice. These are the participants in the caucus race right at the beginning of Wonderland. Everybody who's gotten caught in the pool of tears. It's the mouse telling his boring story. Justice. Oh. This is from the poem Your Old Father William, which is a nonsense poem. But one thing he has done is studied the law, so that's suitable. The Hanged Man. The Lobster. That's funny. Lobsters show up a couple of times. There's a lobster quadrille. That the mock turtle and the griffin teach Alice. Let me see which lobster this refers to, because there's a lot of poems about seafood too. A lobster is hung by its tail, probably over a cooking pot. It is his fate to be boiled for someone's dinner. Life in suspension, not in the pot, not out of the pot. Oh my. Cool. Death. The Red Queen shouting, "Off with his head." Suitable. Temperance. The March Hare shows up again in Looking Glass, not really identified as such, as one of the king's servants. He has two, one to come and one to go. And that's, what's his name? Hare? Let me see. Temperance. Temperance. Yeah, I think it's hair. Takes a ham sandwich out of his bag. He gives it to the king who needs refreshment. And says there's nothing like a ham sandwich when you need refreshment. And Alice said, I don't think it'll work well. And he's like, well, I didn't say it would work well. I just said there's nothing like it. So he's got the basic temperance stance. Interesting. Oh, and of course we got the Jabberwock. It's the devil. Beware the Jabberwock, my son. The tower. Oh, that's good. It's when Alice grows so much and she's in the White Rabbit's house. And, excuse me, all the little animals are trying to figure out how to get the monster out of the house. They send Bill the lizard in through the chimney, and she kicks him and shoots him right back out. There's the White Rabbit falling into the cucumber frames. When I read this as a child, there were so many things I didn't know what they were, like cucumber frames. The star is the griffin. That's fun. He is rather hopeful. The moon. Oh. We've got the walrus and the carpenter luring the oysters away to their doom. That is interesting. I wonder why she chose that. In the background, the moon is distraught because the sun has decided to shine in the nighttime. Oh, well, that is perfect for the poem. Walrus speaks about trivial subjects while trying to decide which of the oysters to eat first. Deception in its forms. It certainly, I always interpret the moon so much more positively than Wade did. That suits. Humpty Dumpty as the sun. I will have to think about this one, because Humpty Dumpty is a bit of a jerk. I mean, he's smart and he explains some things to Alice, but he's just very much a know-it-all. Judgment. We have the trial. The trial of the Knave of Hearts for stealing the tarts. And the world. Here's Alice venturing out into the looking glass world, laid out like a chessboard. All right, so flamingos. Let's see if they explain themselves about these suits. Is swords. Flamingos as swords. Okay, well, they're going to look fantastic. That's great. Oh, yeah, and they gave us the little spades there. Interesting. So our caterpillar again with flamingos. So it's going to be, I guess, the flamingos overlaid on the pixie artwork, basically. Oh, okay. Well, here we have the king sleeping from the looking glass, which, when she's talking to Tweedledum and Tweedledee, they say, look at that, and there's the king sleeping under the tree, and they upset Alice a little bit because they say, maybe you don't exist, maybe you're just a dream he's having right now. So cool. All right, the 5. And this is just very adapted. I don't believe it's actually showing a scene. We've just got some of the courtiers from the croquet game and whatnot in the trial. Oh, okay, now this is perfect. Here's Alice and the sheep. Rowing. I still think the flamingos is a very bizarre choice for swords, but I like it. I don't know why. I do like it. 7. Well, there's the sundial. I know in the poem Jabberwocky, there's a sundial and the creatures are circling around it, so maybe that's a reference to that. The 8. Where are we here? That's her pose from the trial when the cards are flying up in her face at the end of Wonderland. But the setting looks a little bit more, looks maybe earlier when she's on the beach. The 9. I always get them mixed up. One of them has spoiled the other one's rattle, and that's the tantrum when the spoiled rattle is discovered, so that works. The despair. And, this is fun. The cards fling themselves on the ground, so the queen can't identify them well when she's saying, off with their heads. So, there he is. Head's still on, but trampled by flamingos. Here's one of the cards. Probably one of the ones he's painting the rose bushes in the garden. Knight of Flamingos. That looks like the White Knight. Although, I wouldn't have put the White Knight, who is gentle and slow, I wouldn't have put him as the Knight of Swords, actually. Queen of Flamingos. The Red Queen in Looking Glass. Definitely good for the Queen of Swords. She's a bit harsh. And this is the King of Hearts from the trial. Look at his little sunglasses. I think they're regular glasses. Well, they are regular glasses in the original. Cool. All right, hats are, I bet, cups. Let's look. Hats. Okay, it's cups. Now, this is fun. They're in one order in the book and a different order in real life. All right, cups. I certainly wouldn't have put that couple as the loving couple. But it's still fun. They are a married couple. We have the Cheshire Cat appearing up here, and she wants the executioner to behead him, but he refuses because there's no body to cut the head off from. The 3, we have our cards in the garden. 4, here's the mock turtle. Interesting. Yeah, temperamentally, this suits him. The 5, Knave of Hearts. The 6, we have the mouse telling his boring story. There's Alice. So that kind of suits, I guess. The 7, this is fun. There's your March Hare with all the craziness there. The 8, yeah, the Mad Hatter does tend to race off, actually. The 9, why is a raven like a writing desk? Famous riddle. The 10. Oh, this is cozy. This is Alice at the beginning and end of Looking Glass with her kitten. Page of Hats. We have a hatless Mad Hatter wearing a funny outfit. The Knight of Hats. There's one of the King's footmen, the Fish Footman. It brings the invitation to the Duchess to play croquet. Queen of Hats. That's the White Queen in Wonderland. Who believes 6 impossible things before breakfast. King of Hats, we've got the Red King. You can see he's a chess piece. Looking Glass. Okay, oysters. That must be pentacles. Double checking. Yeah. Coins or pentacles. Possessions. Along with pleasures and pains of them. That's fun. And Alice, the oysters are the most prized of all things. But that's pretty, isn't it? The 2. I don't know that any of the cards were balancing things all that well. The 3. Look at them up in the tree. Alice with the baby that turns into a pig. 4. Footman. The 5. We have the mock turtle weeping. The mock turtle and the griffin tell her the poem The Walrus and the Carpenter, which is where the oysters come from. I can't remember which one actually recites it, though. The 6. Here's Alice handing around the plum cake at the break with the lion and the unicorn's battle. 7. Here's one of our cards again. Oysters growing on bushes. I wish. 8. We're using a lot of the playing cards to fill in, I think, when there's not necessarily anything appropriate. 9. Oh, that's the one I have tattooed on my ankle. That Alice pose. And here she is. Bang. She's turned into a queen. There's going to be a banquet to celebrate her, but she's having to bang on the door to get into her own party. And the 10. Interesting. This is the corner of the room in the Looking Glass. The oysters just kind of hanging around, one big happy family. Here we have Haya. And we have the knight who tries to capture Alice before the white knight saves her. The Duchess. Huh. She might be a little bit like fussy and contrary for my concept of the Queen of Pentacles. The King again. Well, he is the only one we know of who has like the garden and the cucumber frames and whatnot. I still don't know that. I see him as the King of Pentacles, the White Rabbit. And so Peppermills would be wands. Interesting. Peppermills figure in Wonderland, in the scene with the Duchess and the cook in the kitchen, where Alice gets the baby that later turns into a pig, there's a lot of pepper in the soup. Way too much pepper in the soup. Okay, here's beginning of Wonderland. Alice in the hall with all the doors. And there she's finding the door that leads into the garden. There's 4 peppermills celebrating. All the cards fighting with peppermills. That's funny. Oh, here's Alice when she first realizes she's made it to the last square and she has gotten her crown. So yeah, temporary victory. That's a good one, actually. The Griffin doing his dance. There's the 7. Not really fighting, but that'll work. The 8. 8 I always think of as movement, and here she's very small, and this puppy wants to play with her, which is kind of scary. Not sure about that. Here's the frog footman. It's the 9. He shows up in both books. In the first book, he's just sitting outside the door where the Duchess and the cook are, and in Looking Glass, he's the one outside the door to her banquet. And, oh, here's Bill the Lizard. He is always burdened, poor Bill, so that works. Frog footman is the page, that works. One of our courtiers is the knight. Oh, the cook, the very cranky cook, is the queen of peppermills. Well, she is the queen of pepper. Oh, yeah, and the Cheshire Cat is either hers or the Duchess's. Probably the Duchess's, since the Duchess would be the owner, but she's in the cook's kitchen, so that works. You gotta have a cat. And the king of peppermills. The White King again. Alright, well, that's just already at half an hour. I'm really pleased with this. I like the vast majority of the interpretations. There's a couple that I'm like, about, but I don't think anything's really badly thought out. I should say something about cardstock. Very flexible. This is going to shuffle like a dream. Let's shuffle it up. Oh, yeah. Really good. Let's... Oh, look. We have the 10 oysters. So hopefully we have a lovely day here. Whoops. Enough enthusiastic shuffling. It's raining off and on, which might, and it's hot, so that might totally kill off the customer base for today. Wish me luck, y'all. Wish me 10 of oysters kind of day. Anyway, it's nice to chat again after however shockingly long it's been since I've made a video. Maybe I'll get really inspired and catch up. I've got another deck that I think came in Friday, but it probably got delivered across the street and I didn't pick it up in time. And that's a really cool Oracle deck. So Hopefully you'll see me again soon. And I just realized this all filmed sideways. You're freaking kidding me. No.